Developing tonight, a new twist in the gun control debate in the wake of the Parkland school shooting. A liberal activist group now taking aim at the junior ROTC program, saying it promotes war and violence. Codepink tweeting in part, quote, "We must pass gun laws, get JROTC and NRA out of our schools." That tweet setting off a firestorm of criticism. You might remember that the three of the Parkland victims, Elena Petty, Peter Wang, and Martin Duque, were all members of JROTC. Wang was reportedly shot while helping save other students. But Codepink is not backing down, saying late today, quote, "The students killed in Parkland were victims of unnecessary violence," highlighting the fact that JROTC does not belong in our schools is not an attempt to malign any memory, but rather to rise up against a piece of the problem. Here now, Jeremy Hunt, a U.S. Army officer and opinion writer. Wendy Osefo is a professor and political commentator. Thanks to both of you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Jeremy, I just wonder how hearing all of that makes you feel.
Yeah, you know, it is just so disheartening to hear that Codepink is on a campaign to end high school JROTC. You know, I served in the program for 4 years in high school. I've seen firsthand how it's impacted lives. Like, JROTC teaches leadership, selflessness, integrity. These are values that our nation desperately needs. And what better embodiment of those values than those that gave their lives trying to help their friends? I mean, Peter Wang was buried in his JROTC uniform. I mean, we should be taking this moment to highlight the incredible things, the incredible contributions that JROTC makes in our communities, especially underprivileged communities and communities with people of color. I cannot talk enough about the incredible values that I learned in that program, and to hear Codepink trying to come against JROTC for their own political agenda is just so disheartening to hear.
Wendy, pointing at JROTC as part of the problem, that's a problem for many Americans.
And I can see why that is, because, you know, again, the JROTC has equipped people with leadership skills and increased their self-esteem, but it would be intellectually dishonest for us not to see the ways in which it can also militarize kids. We see between 2010 and 2016, the NRA donated $126,000 to schools and to the JROTC, especially in Broward County. One thing we're not talking about is that Nicholas Cruz, the person who killed these victims, was actually a member of the JROTC.
What's your point?
Marksmanship.
What's your point?
The point is that the shooter was a member of the JROTC
and that makes JROTC bad in the cause of the problem?
He's a killer, and the fact that you cannot dissect the good things about JROTC and the bad things is problematic and intellectually dishonest.
Jeremy?
It's clear that Wendy has bought into the falsehoods that Codepink has been selling. They are trying to sell this false narrative. They're trying to sell this false narrative that JROTC is somehow training the next mass shooter, when actually they're training leaders of character. They're training people that love their country. And honestly, in our culture today that is so self-centered, such as the me generation, as we're called, here you have a JROTC program that teaches values that are antithetical to that teaches values of selflessness, to give to others. And so to come against that program because of this one case, I think that's where the intellectual dishonesty comes in.
And it teaches leadership.
Honestly,
I mean, Wendy, why are we not talking and celebrating Peter Wang, who all he wanted was to be a member of the Army. All he wanted to do was go to West Point, and West Point issued his family a ceremonial letter of acceptance. This was a kid we should be honoring tonight who held the door open so other students could run and flee.
And you're trying to twist my words to say we're not honoring him, but we are. But for anyone to sit here and say that we cannot look at the good things that a company does or organization does or a program does as well as the bad things, it's intellectually dishonest.
You're making a generalization about
How am I making
the
a generalization when the shooter was part of the marksmanship program? So what are you talking about?
Around a falsehood.
Around the falsehood that the shooter was a member of the JROTC program for marksmanship, so his ability to shoot targets the way he did was because of them? No, sir.
One at a time, because we can't hear you. Jeremy, your turn. Go.
Yeah. You know, it's just so unfortunate that here we are on the air, and instead of honoring those that gave their life for their classmates, we're here talking about how the whole program should be. And let's be very clear. Codepink is advocating not to end the NRA donations or to end, just those particular programs. They want to end the entire JROTC program. They want legislation.
And that is false.
Yes, if you look at the articles, that is exactly what they are trying to push. They're saying, write your congressman. On their website, they're saying, write your congressman and end JROTC. JROTC.
We've got to
their
leave
plan,
it there.
And honestly, it's so unfortunate.
That's a false narrative,
We
sir.
will we'll let the folks at home who heard this debate decide and,
I'm sorry
and heard
you bought
the
it.
facts. Thanks to both of you for being here.
Thank you.
Coming up, the first woman to publicly speak out about sexual abuse by former USA Gymnastics team doctor Larry Nassar has a new mission, who Rachel Dollenhander says needs to be exposed. Next. And President Obama hired more than 24 members of the media to join his team at the White House. So why is there so much debate about Trump hiring a TV anchor to be his new top economic advisor? Joe Concha and Richard Fowler are on that one. They join us next.